A very good afternoon to you and a warm welcome to the marketplace. My name is Aboagye-Wiafe. We're live on JoyNews and we're celebrating 25 years with you. Coming up this afternoon, GCNet and West Blue starts switch-on port management platforms again this afternoon after some activities at the Tema port were disrupted for the past 2 days. We have updates for you. Also coming up, South African government and country's national transport movement reach agreement to shut down South African Airlines and form a new carrier. We'll be having a conversation on this latest development. And the Ghana Association of Savings and Loans Companies asks government to channel 600 million Ghana cedi stimulus package set aside by government to cushion small-scale enterprises to its members for onward disbursement. These are headlines today. Many thanks for joining me. We'll be right back with the details. Thank you very much for staying with me on today's show and welcome back. Let's start from the ports now. And importers can now heave a sigh of relief as trade facilitation companies GCNet and West Blue start working again this afternoon. The directive is coming after some confusion ensued with regards to clearing of goods and payments of duties at the Tema port on the back of the rollout of Unipass. Let's go live now and speak with executive member of the Ghana Institute of Freight Forwarders, Stephen Kweku for some latest updates. Stephen, you're welcome to the marketplace.
Good afternoon, my brother. Thank you.
All right, so what can you tell us about the current situation at the ports?
Well, my brother, let me say a very good afternoon to your listeners. Currently, let me say that this dealer system has been restored. The West Blue system has been restored following a meeting, a crunch meeting held between the management of GCNet and West Blue and then top management of GRA. So as you speak now, the system is back and running. But I can say for a fact that even though the ICANS has been implemented, but it is not live. It's not working as we speak. So what we are currently using now, we have resorted to using our old system, which is GCNet and West Blue.
Are you privy to any of the information or the agreement reached between the GRA and the other partners?
No, please. But what I can say is that we just had a meeting with the Trade Minister, Honorable Alan Chamantin, and the Deputy Finance Minister. We just finished a meeting, and then we were told that the two systems are going to run parallel until further notice. But as to when GCNet and West Blue will totally fade off for Unipass to take full control, we don't know. We asked and they said they cannot tell us now. So as I speak, what we know is that the two systems are going to run parallel until further notice.
So this new arrangement, has it reduced the pressure that was witnessed at the ports over the past 2 days?
Let me say a bit. The pressure cannot go there now because, as you know, tomorrow it's a holiday. And then we sat down idle from Tuesday, yesterday, and today. And today is almost, let's say, 2 o'clock. Even if with this relief, people cannot still clear tomorrow, because tomorrow is a holiday and you don't have these shipping lines working. So if we will actually feel this relief, it will be Monday going, because that is where you're going to have all the agencies working, at the port in place to be able to process documents freely. So currently, we can say, even though those who have already started the process and are in the process of clearing can go ahead and clear, but those of us who are now going to start a new declaration, creating of new UCIs and IDs and EMDs will have to finish their job by Monday because the shipping lines are not working on Saturday. And tomorrow also being holiday. That is the predicament in which we find ourselves now.
So what is the mood of the importers or some of your members at this point in time with this latest development?
Well, we don't have importers around. This place is really made up of port community workers. So I think we received this news with relief because at the end of the day, the importer must not suffer the mistakes of whoever took that decision that GCNet and West Blue should to shut down their system and for Unipass to take over whilst they know that the system is not actually ready to be deployed. So we are happy. Once we are able to start, they're going to be able to put argument back on the GCNet and West Blue. I think we should thank them. We should also thank GCNet and West Blue for being magnanimous and listening to the plight of the importers and this petition.
Can you hint us of any possible revenue losses that this situation has
Yes, of course. I mean, if for 48 hours or close to 72 hours, nothing has been collected, no revenue has been collected from port, I mean, you can imagine the implication. Government take about 70% of its revenue from the port, and for the ports to go on an end for close to 72 hours, I mean, we definitely have an adverse effect on government pay. So obviously, that cannot be ruled out. There's a possibility that government revenue is going to go down.
All right. Thank you very much, Stephen Kweku Ochedako, Executive Member of the Ghana Institute of Freight Forwarders, bringing us up to speed with the latest development at the port, where currently the GCNet and West Blue have switched back onto their platforms for port management systems. Now, meanwhile, public policy think tank Imani Africa has described as unnecessary the decision by government to return to GCNet's management of trade facilitation at the country's ports. The Ghana Revenue Authority had earlier indicated it is engaging officials of GCNet to extend their management of import and export platforms. This was after it abrogated their contract and handed over the system back to Ghana Link, which is managing the Unipass. Franklin Kujo is president of Imani Africa.
This was completely necessary at all, and I shudder to think that the GRA itself is not asserting itself. I don't know whether because the GRA was in an acting position, but I think that the communication is giving too much away of total helplessness and powerlessness. They are on the ground, they are seeing the bonfires that are coming up all over the place, and they have to be able to speak to the matter. I don't think they are serving themselves any good useful purpose, and as well as the public any useful purpose, by trying to force something which unfortunately is not ready. So for me, capitulating now that the system itself wasn't ready and it was not supposedly end-to-end as it is an opportunity for them to go back and then do a proper introspection. This is not the time to toy with money.
All right, so meanwhile, the Executive Secretary of the Chamber of Petroleum Consumers Ghana, COPEC, is also raising some concerns about the current development, which he says could lead to the shortage of some petroleum products in the coming days. We'll be getting in touch with him to get more updates of that particular development. Meanwhile, the Ghana Association of Savings and Loans Companies says its members are better positioned and well structured to disburse the 600 million Ghana cedi stimulus package set aside by government to cushion small-scale enterprises against the effect of COVID-19. Executive Secretary of the Association, Aboagye-Wiafe, tells Joy Business it will be in the interest of the local economy when members of the association are entrusted with the disbursement of the fund. He disclosed this when the association donated medical equipment and other sanitary items worth 200,000 Ghana cedis to the East District Hospital, one of Ghana's COVID-19 treatment centers.
We realize that the savings and loans companies have consistently been serving their clients, and that even though things are hard, deposits are not coming for obvious reasons. Businesses are not doing well, they are not generating revenue, and so deposits are not coming. Loans that are supposed to come in so that we'll be able to have the necessary liquid in the system, people are also unable to pay their loans, and they've approached the various institutions, and the institutions have also listened to their plea. Those who are affected are also sorted out. Some of them have had the opportunity of getting their interest rate reduced. Some of them too have had the opportunity of getting their loans rescheduled or restructured. Some of them have also given them more period. So these are some of the things we are doing for our clients. If we decide to say, every client take one repayment or two repayments, the reality is that the clients are paying on daily basis or weekly basis. So even if you give them 1 week, the reality is that the customer will not feel the benefit. So we realize that we need to treat every customer according to their needs. and obviously it has been very, very helpful. And so we want to continue to extend our appreciation to the customers and also let them know that we are there for them as they are there for us. Because if the customer is not there, no savings and loans company will be able to survive. We want to also encourage them to continue to do business with their preferred institutions. If you look at the nature of the business environment as it stands now, those who genuinely would have come for loans now are looking at what are they going to do with their loans, because businesses are not doing well. The cash flow is not coming in and all those things. So we agree with the customers, but
Also live on the marketplace, let's get back to the earlier story where the current standoff between government and Ghana Community Network GCNet at the Tema ports could affect supply of petroleum products in the coming days. That's according to the Chamber of Petroleum Consumers Ghana, COPEC. According to them, this is leading to a lot of challenges with petroleum liftings across various depots in the country. COPEC says oil marketing companies, OMCs, and the liquefied petroleum gas marketing companies, LPGMCs, that had ordered for supply of fuel to various outlets could not load a single liter of fuel all day on Wednesday due to the discrepancies in the migration onto the new customs system at the depots. We have on phone now the Executive Secretary of COPEC, Duncan Amoah, to give us some more updates. Duncan, you're welcome to the marketplace.
Thank you, Emmanuel. Good afternoon to JoyNews.
Yes. So can you please espouse further on your concerns?
What I can put on record is that some of the trucks have started loading as we speak. So fuel that should have been loaded the whole of yesterday, due to the challenges with the Unipass and GCNet system, we are now having a lot of them getting loaded. What it means is that those stations that had orders waiting yesterday to receive those orders today are going to have to wait a day to receive those orders because fuel is now being discharged to the BRVs to be moved to the fuel outlets or stations.
All right, so would you comfortably say this brings to an end of your concern?
Not exactly. We would hope that this loading is sustained and then we will be able to have whatever challenges that we probably would have seen by way of shortages resolved with the system. But as it stands now, yes, loading is ongoing. I do not know for other depots across the country, but what I can confirm is that in Tema, a lot of the depots have started loading now, and that bodes well for fuel supply to outlets in the country.
Thank you very much, Duncan Amoah, for that update. Duncan Amoah is Executive Secretary of the Chamber of Petroleum Consumers Ghana. Also live on the marketplace, we'll be going into the international aviation industry where some developments are brewing, and we'll tell you more about this, but not after we go on a short break right after this. Thank you very much for staying on the show, The Marketplace. Welcome back. Now, South Africa's National Transport Movement, NTM, says a decision to shut down South Africa's airlines and form a new airline has been reached. The union says the plan was confirmed on Tuesday during a meeting between SAA unions and Public Enterprises Minister in South Africa. In terms of the agreement, the government will source 2.2 billion rands funding for severance packages. The decision will result in the termination of all SAA employee contracts. However, current airline staff will be given preference for employment in the new airline to be formed. The union has expressed regret that South African Airlines is now going to be shut down to be replaced by a new carrier. This is quite a worrying development, and we want to take a look at the latest development and also as well as the impact of COVID-19 on the entire aviation industry, especially with emphasis on Africa. Joining me now in studio is Dr. Yakubu Akparibo, aviation expert and medical director of Care Flights Ghana. to help discuss the situation. Good afternoon, sir. Welcome to the Marketplace.
Thank you.
Now, before we really hit the South African situation, can you tell us the current impact of COVID-19 on, Africa aviation industry?
Yeah. So if you are a market watcher, you realize that aviation has been one of the biggest industries that this COVID-19 has impacted. You look at most of the major airlines in Ghana and, in Africa, and all have been impacted. So like your introductory remark, the first biggest one that has gone down is South African Airways. And just a few days ago, the CEO of Ethiopian Airlines also came out to give some warning. Yeah,
even before we go ahead, we have a data that was churned out by International Aviation Travelers Association, IATA, regarding jobs impact for the African continent aviation industry. And of course, this is what we have for you.
Yeah.
So it's quite worrying. I mean, the figures are huge here, and it looks like not everything is too well.
Yeah, exactly. Like you showing the IATA data. If you look at the numbers, they are just so scary. You look at South African Airways, and they are the deficit of about $3 billion US dollars. So generally, the aviation industry in Africa has really taken a big hit. And by the time this pandemic is going to be over, definitely most airlines some are going to fold up, and new ones will definitely emerge. Yeah.
That's interesting. Now let's go to South African Airlines. I mean, did the news come to you as a shock, especially when the airline had been having serious problems in the past, funding problems and capital injection and so on and so forth? Did this current development come to you as a shock?
Yeah, this is not surprising to me, because when you look at South African Airways, they've had problems in the past. They've been bailed out several times by the South African government, and this one has just taken a major hit on them. So you look at the impact of COVID on aviation, mostly all flights are grounded except cargo and emergency flights. So South African Airways, if you're unable to fly, you wouldn't make revenue. And then you have employees and all that to take care of. You need to maintain the aircraft as they are even parked down.
But under current situations like this, is it a good decision to just fold it and replace it with a new airline? That's my worry.
Yeah, it depends on the liquidity of the airline. Like I rightly said, if the government is not ready to bail them out in order to maintain their staff strength, then definitely that is liquidation or going into administration is just the best way to go for them.
So it looks like, when we come to the workers that are going to be affected, government says it's going to source for funding to severance package to pay them off.
Exactly.
Now, would they have the required package, and how would the situation be like?
Yeah, so normally when you look at circumstances like this, the workers definitely have to always be paid their severance packages before the airline will go into complete administration. So the government has indicated that they're going to source the money, get the money, and then pay the workers their severance packages. So definitely there's going to be a back and forth negotiation between the union of the airline and then also government.
But in principle, do you think that the new carrier to be formed will also have some management of the South African Airlines as part? Because like you said, part of the workers are still going to stay on and continue to be affected.
Yeah, so most of the time, from what I know, generally, normally the top management are normally asked to go. Because if it's under your watch that the airline has gone down, if I'm going to put in my money, I need to bring in new expertise that is going to boost up growth. So mostly the top management definitely will go. Is the ordinary, let me say, the crew and then pilots and those ordinary.
Now, let's try and do some comparative analysis with Ghana Airways, the demise of Ghana Airways. We had fundamental challenges that even though we have a new carrier in place, the government does not tackle it to the roots. It will still have, have effects on the new airline. What's your take on that? Yeah,
exactly like you said. Mostly, the margins in the aviation sector are very, very narrow. They are very small. So if you don't have like good management, if there's going to be like government interferences and that kind of stuff, definitely even if you set up a new one, it's not going to survive. What I understand with this one is likely going to be private sector involvement, massive private sector involvement. So definitely if people are putting their money in it, they will definitely want to have the best minds to manage it. Unlike Ghana Airways, which still had, like, when the new airline was formed, government still had some huge stake in it, and government still had control, and that probably led to the demise of Ghana International Airline that was formed after Ghana Airways.
Do you think the entire African, aviation industry will be able to bounce back like it used to be, after after COVID-19 is gone?
Yeah, I think especially the ones with massive government support, like Ethiopian Airlines, for example. I think although their CEO came out to give some warning signs, I think they will be able to survive. Another African airline that is also struggling is Kenyan Airways. Kenyan Airways is also in trouble. So if they have like more government stimulus, this COVID issue is not just peculiar to Africa. You look at even the American airlines that were making a lot of money, and even the European airlines, British Airways, they even still got like massive bailout from their government, because you wouldn't be able to maintain about 30,000 employees on your payroll for about 3 months without getting revenue in.
Interesting conversation. I believe we could continue later on another platform. Thank you very much for coming. Dr. Yakubu Aparebo is an aviation expert and also the medical director of Care Flight Ghana. We've been talking about the demise of South African Airlines and the replacement by a new carrier. And on that note, we draw down the curtains on today's marketplace. My name is Aboagye-Wiafe. Have a good afternoon.